Hi everyone, it's Ketty. Welcome to this module, which is all about belly dance performance professionalism. Let's begin right at the beginning, and that is knowing things that are more about the legal aspect, or rates, insurance, the investment you have to make to become a performer, and the legalities. So firstly, you need to know the standard performers' rates and avoid undercutting. At the same time, know your worth. Stick with those rates. If you have a set rate, that's wonderful, but just make sure you know what other rates are around in your industry. Have the correct professional costuming and props for the gig. Understand that there is an investment that needs to be made for professionalism. Avoid cutting corners. Be insured. It's around $200 to $300 a year, but it covers you, your students, your troupe, and anywhere you perform or even teach. Music. Now legally, this should be credited if you're performing live, and if it's filmed or used in promotion, then permission or clearance should be sought from the artist or producer of the music. Let's look at presentation and professional performance etiquette. Firstly, make sure you look professional. Dress well, be prepared with cards, media links, and contact details. Speak well of yourself and don't defame other artists. Have a great photo gallery and at least one video reel. Professional, of course, is best, but it's not necessary these days with so many wonderful cameras and special effects. You can make your own photo gallery and also your own show reel. Have a website, a Facebook page or other social media page such as Instagram or perhaps TikTok, and remember to stay professional on your social media, because people looking at you as a performer don't really need to see all your ups and downs in life. They're looking for a performer. So if you have two different identities, one is the normal everyday person you are, and then the other is your performer, make sure to keep them separate and to stay really professional with your social media. Have a great selection of costumes and costume cover-ups for live performances. Have a good bio or blurb for presenters who may announce you on stage or at events. Have several great musical arrangements edited for your shows. You should know the exact timing of each and prepare this in MP3 format. Now, MP3, of course, is a digital format, and that's the main format that's used these days, but of course you can always check with the person organising the event. Now, usually musically you require an entrance, a body of music, and then an exit or an outro to the edited performance piece. Dealing with customers. Be polite, professional, and maintain clear, pleasant communication with courtesy and integrity. Give your rate, describe your show, and offer your show reel. If a customer decides to hire you, agree on a time and allow them some input with a theme, colour, or musical choices. This is also where you should state any of your requirements or conditions, for example, no touching, no tips being pushed down into your bra, etc. This is completely up to you, but it is the right time to make these agreements. Remember to factor in any extra expenses like travel time, parking fees, special costume requirements. Now take notes and show your customer for clarity. After you've taken your notes, perhaps you'd like to prepare an email or something like that, where you're clear and you mutually agree on a plan. If the performance is outdoors or there might be changeable conditions or circumstances, it's always useful to have a plan B in place. This is actually what a lot of event coordinators do. Be sure to have your agreement in writing. An email or an SMS will do. It's best to get a bond or a deposit upon booking, either 25% or 50%, with the remainder of your fee payable after the event. Of course, know your worth. This is so important, and be prepared to walk away from anyone who makes you feel belittled or tries to bargain you down. Before the show, this is what you prepare at home. Choose your music and allow for a solo entrance, a good display section, perhaps audience interaction, and a finale. So you really need to choose the right songs with the right tempo, momentum, and something that fits that particular crowd. It must be suitable, especially culturally or in terms of theme or theatre. Your music MP3 may need to be sent in before the show, so just make sure you know who to send that to. You may need to prepare a blurb for the MC before the show as well. Be well rehearsed, feel confident with your music and choreographies or your free dancing. Test run your costume and your props to be sure there are no snags when you're moving. Especially with new costumes, you want to be sure that any new costumes are test driven before the performance and not on the night of the performance. If doing a costume change, allow sufficient time and prepare an order of dressing to be most time effective. Ask the organiser about the stage or dance floor, all entry points to the dance space, and if there is an MC who will be announcing you. It's better if you're announced. It's more respectful to the performer, so if they don't have an MC, you may be able to arrange it with them. You may like to arrange for a driver, a chaperone, or someone to take photos or a video of your performance on the night. Also, be sure to ask the organiser about parking if it's a large venue or an inner city area, because you really don't want to be walking a long way in your costume, getting sweaty with perhaps a suitcase in tow. I always suggest eating lightly before a show. Perhaps pack some high energy snacks like nuts or something that you can eat while you're in the change room. And this is really important, avoid getting drunk. It doesn't make for a great show. Items to pack for the performance. In your case, you want costumes, props, accessories, your veil, etc. Then also you want to pack your makeup bag, some makeup wipes, because often after a performance you're sweating and it's just nice to freshen up. Make sure you bring deodorant because you'll be near people. Small emergency sewing kits are also a good idea. Be sure to have a change of clothes, some cards if you have them, and your phone. Now, if it's a troupe performance, decide who brings what to make it easier for everyone. Avoid leaving your bags or valuables in places like public toilets, if that's the only option as a change room, or anywhere that's unguarded. So on arrival to your show, be sure to arrive early and give yourself at least 10 to 15 minutes if possible, even more sometimes if you have to get dressed or do something special at the show. Be sure to pack everything you need in a compact bag. A small carry-on suitcase is usually sufficient. If arriving in costume, be sure to cover up elegantly and well. Have your hair and makeup ready. Have a way of potential customers to contact you. Cards or an easy-to-find social media page is good, so you can prepare this in advance. Go to the dressing room and avoid mingling with the crowd when you arrive, because you need to remain mysterious and be a real surprise when you enter for maximum impact. Prepare your performance in a quiet space with privacy and do a few movements to limber up. When you're there in the room alone, you're dressed, you have your cover off and you're ready to go on stage, just spend a moment getting into an emotionally confident and happy zone. Perhaps you'd like to do some deep breathing exercises or visualization of a great performance ahead. If you're nervous, it's really good to do some somatic grounding exercises. This is basically breathing exercises where you're allowing your full weight on the exhalation to really pound into the ground. It's a wonderful grounding exercise. You always need to be sure that you have someone who can communicate with you or call you just a few minutes before you're on. So now we come to the show, the actual performance. It's important to make a great entry. Beam your energy out into the audience and light up that room. Show your skills with confidence and naturalness, or play on a theme if that's more the style. Allow for audience interaction if that's the type of performance you're doing, And if it's a birthday, anniversary, a wedding, or any type of celebration where there's a guest of honour, be sure to pay special attention to your guests of honour. Remain gracious, beautiful and vibrant because you are an entertainer. Have a great finale to wow the audience and a good exit piece. I always say avoid just having the music stop and then walking off, because the exit is also an important part of the show, just like the entry. Remember, that's the last people see of you and what they might remember of you. At the end of the show, take a moment to acknowledge your audience before you leave the stage or dance space. This is where you can take a bow, where you can make eye contact and really beam out your wonderful gratitude and energy out to your audience. Now, after the show, dress in your post-show attire and pack your belongings well. Remember to get someone to collect any props that were left on stage, such as veils or canes. It's really important not to do this yourself. Now, if you've arranged to be paid on the night, see the right person and thank them. On the way out, you may be stopped by people wanting your contact details for future performances. So it could be handy to have your cards ready, or you can link these people directly on your phone, for example, on your social media account. Always take a moment to enjoy and celebrate your own performance and show gratitude to anyone who assisted you at the show. It might be someone like a waitress who came in and gave you a drink, or someone who announced you really well. It's really important to show that gratitude because it's very cyclic and it all comes around. So I hope that helps when you have a special performance ahead. And remember, always know your worth.